Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? This is Enrique from Easy Things to Draw. Today we're going to go over how to draw fire. Originally I was going to go over obviously there's the graphical depiction of fire, and then there's the more realistic version of fire. I'm sorry, my computer's wigging out. Okay, there's a more graphical depiction of fire, and then there's a realistic version of fire. The graphical depiction I know you've seen a lot. That's been the whole, it looks like tentacles reaching up at the roof, and you can do that as random as you want. You know what I mean? Doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of doodling that really quick to show you what I'm talking about. And then there's the inner layer, which is the lightest. And then there's usually a layer between, the outer layer and the middle layer. Something like that. You know what I'm talking about? That's a graphical depiction of fire. I'm talking about the realistic version. We will kind of go over that. And the realistic version of that, I think is what most people, at least on my channel, want to learn. When thinking of fire, and this kind of relates to the one with smoke as well, the one I did yesterday, a lot, especially with fire, it has to do a lot with kind of what's around it. You kind of frame that in darkness as well. Like when you have a character that has, like, let's say fire breath or something, usually, let's say they have fire breath, right? They'll have a lot of darkness in their mouth, because that darkness in their mouth is the contrast to the light of the fire. Right? That's the only way you can really see it. You do it by contrast. So something looks bright because it's next to something that's dark. Usually, that's usually how it pops out. Like, whoa, that's bright. Like, whoa, that fire's bright. So when you're drawing fire, and I'm gonna stay with the side of my pencil, and I'm using a regular Derwent. You can use any pencil. It doesn't matter what pencil I'm using. And I'm gonna use a side, and I'm gonna try to keep it kind of soft initially. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to go kind of, honestly, just random. Very random. Just think of like a lot of weird spikes or plant. I think of it as like a plant growing. You know what I mean? One thing you got to do is remember, just like in the other video, don't try to be, when you tell yourself, okay, it's time to be random. It's time to be random. Don't overthink it too much. You don't have to, beat yourself up over anything like that. Let's just say that's our shape. Okay? Let me move it over here. So we're going to be working with this shape right now. That's my fiery shape, because it's sinewy and it can kind of just go anywhere. I'm going to actually think about one or two things. Number one, is the core of this going to be the lightest part of the entire image? Or what I'm going to do is the way fire does is there is kind of a light band that kind of is within the flame. You know what I mean? I'll do both. I'll do a little one right here where the core is bright, and then right here with the band one. Let's go actually to the core one first. Let's say this little flame over here on the side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm literally going to darken out the background, because like I said before, what it's around is really affecting it. You know what I mean? Okay, so we got this kind of like base level thing. Just darkening that background already made it look better, much better. I mean, you're working with a single shape. We're just starting, and it's already making it look all right. That dark background, that contrast. You can make it darker. I'm using a 3B right now. It doesn't really matter, like I said, what you use. I'm just trying to darken it up as much as I can, and as this demo, as just for a demo, And what you can do from here is you start going to the side of my pencil. I start. Whoa, I almost choked there. Sorry about that. You start tracing the outer, kind of near the contour. Just trace it lightly. It has to be lighter. There has to be a clear division between the edge of the flame and the outside. And that's kind of up to you how deep you want to make that flame. If you want to pull it in more and really just have that really core glowy center only, you can do that as well. You can even pull it all the way down, and if you want, you can kind of shade it all the way down, just like I said, using the side. Pulling out slightly darker when it gets near the core center here. I always push it a little bit darker. A little bit darker. Just some little edges. A little bit darker, and just some type of like patches, you know, like near it. Doesn't be a thick line or anything, because you want that slight contrast even in the middle. And let me go up here and fix the edge of that flame on the top. And you could, again, continue to kind of fiddle with this. Just kind of fiddle around with it. There's a lot of complexity within it. If you want to make this even darker, some of these edges, to really make the center of that flame pop more, it's kind of up to you. The thing with another thing that's really you find really interesting with flames is flames are very they're very similar to like hair or you know, like I said, smoke. You know, they're very completely, like, there's things that are going on sometimes and you're like, wow, it's kind of hard to make sense of that, you know, when you look at like photos of flames. So it's kind of up to you sometimes to kind of make sense of it as well, you know. Anyways, that would be one example right here. This kind of like has this kind of core light center to it. And like I said, how light that looks would depend on how kind of dark you make the stuff next to it. And you can make that trail out if you want, using your pencil to kind of pull some stuff out of here as well. I'm sorry, your pencil. Using your eraser to pull out some information as well. Anyways, let's move on to the one I was talking about here. It looks like a spider right now. It's crazy. Oh, I don't know, that's bugging me. Anyways, that's just a demo. So this one, let's get over here to this one, the big one. I'm actually literally going to start out by thinking very similarly, you know, as I did with the other one. I want not exactly a core white spot, but I do want like white spots around it as well, you know what I mean? So I'm actually going to be thinking about that the whole time right now. It's like, okay, so with this, there's definitely going to be some strands within it. And like I said, very similar to the cartoony one, you can divide it into three. You know what I mean? You can divide it from the outer darker layer, gets a little bit lighter in the middle, and it gets super light toward the center. You know, it's just that towards the center, I like to push darks to kind of make it pop. So if we're just using this, let's say without the background, oh, I guess we're going to have that background over there. With this one, I'm gonna try to do it without a background. I'm gonna pull in these random shapes I made. I'm gonna kind of shade like with the side of my pencil just a little bit there. That's another thing, by the way, you stay very soft, you know, very soft through most of this. I'm hardly on the tip of my pencil at all. So with this one, now that I'm also kind of controlling the outer, I'm trying to, kind of frame it first, you know what I mean, by controlling the outer edges of the flame. Oh, now I'm controlling the outer edges, but I'm also going down here toward the bottom, and I'm giving it a very dark base, as if it's kind of moving around, as if the fire, it's kind of like a wildfire where, they kind of like, I'm not sure how to say it. It's spread across like something. And I'm going random down here too. I'm thinking of it. Honestly, I'm thinking of it as like grass or something. Pushing these darks within inside of it. I'm trying to be random as I can. If something starts looking too similar, I try to change it up. You have to figure out your own habits. You have a habit of doing something, you have to consciously change it. That looks too similar right there. So I'm going to try to break that up somehow. Pulling the pencil across it, you know what I mean? You saw that before? It was like 1, 2, 3. These three little prongs, and they look the same. So I try to change that. Pulling up right here. And this is also very, it's crazy. People don't talk about this, but it's very soothing of a habit, It's very, soothing of, mentally doing this stuff, This wavy stuff. Pushing the dark down here. Can you see the bottom there? Yeah, pushing the darkness toward the bottom on that one. And then, see, right here, I don't know if you can see this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are way too similar. So I'm going to really look at that and be like, okay, how can let me pull some more white down into it. And then maybe make this one over here a little bit longer. Maybe split it, So that's something you constantly have to keep check throughout the whole thing, It's like, oh, that's getting too weird, or that's getting too repetitive. You can push the outer layer of this one to make it just see it more, just like with the smoke and stuff like that. The fire thing, a lot of the challenges when you're doing it so soft, you're using the side of the pencil. Wow, and I'm putting my hand over it. You can see it's colored there. I have to watch out for that. Normally what I do for this is one second, let me show you what I do. Oops, daisy. I grab any piece of paper and I tear the paper, right? And then I just put it right there while I'm working, so that I don't get gunk on my hand and I don't screw up the image too much, See that? It's kind of, you can tell it used to be all sharp and now it's not. Real easy to do. Just tear off any piece of paper. It's kind of something I've been doing for when I did a lot when I used charcoal, because charcoal goes everywhere. Up here, looking a little bit too similar, so I'm trying to be more random. So for this, it's butting up right against this one. That's funny. I was gonna say, for this particular flame, I'm really thinking about this darkness is kind of anchoring it. And I always talk about this a lot, especially when I'm drawing line art. When I anchor something, I anchor it with this darkness in this one, I feel it can be more powerful. I think that's just my opinion, powerfully. I'm using words like that. But just completely my opinion. I think it's more powerful. This is an okay look. This right here, where you have the lightest light toward the bottom and stuff like that, you just kind of treat it more systematically. I don't like it as much unless it's like for a very specific illustration. You know what I mean? You want it to like glow more. You know, this is a little bit more realistic. And right here, what you would do is you would handle the edges more. Like you just start fixing these edges. You know what I mean? You start straightening things out a little bit. And I'm going slightly on the tip of my pencil, but not too much. You know what I mean? You don't want to cartoonify it. You just kind of keep throwing in, you know, you're kind of just shaping it more and more, you know, and it should kind of come to life a little bit more as you do this, you know. You're pulling small darks out of different areas. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, this is just a demo, a demonstration of like kind of how I do fire and stuff like that. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna speed it forward, and I'm gonna work on this a little bit more, and then we'll, you know, call it like that'll be the demo, you know. For now, thanks a lot, guys, and watch the rest of this. I'll talk to you in a bit. Thanks for watching the tutorial, guys. I really appreciate it. If you like that tutorial, you might like this playlist. The playlist in the top left-hand corner is on drawing a person. Just kind of drawing the human body, the head, lips, mouth, body, anatomy, kind of stuff, you know, tricep. That's all in this playlist in the top left-hand corner. You can click on that and it'll open it right up. The bottom right-hand corner is the Armadillo pencil case, which is a pencil case that we sell. We sold on Kickstarter for a couple years, and now is you know, doing really well still. I'm very happy. We promoted at Comic-Con just lately, and you know, check that out to the bottom right-hand corner. That's really cool. And then the top right-hand corner is the other channel I have, which is called Enzyme Art. That's a different kind of teaching. It's not updated nearly as much as this page. It's just like a different kind of passion project for art. You know, when you dig art, you want every facet of it, you know, kind of like covered, you know. So anyways, check that out as well. Subscribe to that channel. That one's going to be updating soon. And all right, guys, I'll see you later.